As business owners, there's a real pressure to stay in the loop with all of the latest business or personal development books. And as business owners, who the hell has time to consume that much content? I've gotten to the point where if I'm gonna read, it's gonna be fiction, but that leaves us feeling out of the loop and behind the times when it comes to new concepts if we can't keep up with new books. So I stumbled across a solution, and now I can read and retain up to a book a day, and it doesn't take me hours. So how do I do this? It's a nifty little app called Shortform. Now, I've been using Shortform for about 6 months, and I am in love with it. I want to walk you through what it is, the pros and cons, and give you a full tour, as well as a discount code, so that you can try this out for yourself for free and fall in love with it like I did. I'm Tara Wagner, breakthrough coach and lifelong entrepreneur. I help other entrepreneurs use a holistic approach to business so they can create profits they can depend on without burning themselves out. If that sounds like your jam, be sure to check out my free training on how you can do the same. So what is Shortform? To call it a book summary app would be a disservice. It's often referred to as book summaries on steroids, but it is so much more than that. Shortform consumes all of the books, mostly nonfiction, that you want to read but don't have time for. And then they basically reteach you the concepts in either a one-page summary or a chapter-by-chapter summary, depending on what you have time for. This cuts out all of the repetitive fluff that most books contain, and it gets right down to the meat of the topic. A lot of times they'll actually reorganize the information too so that it's even clearer than the book, which means fewer of your precious brain calories to burn to wrap your head around everything. But then they go even further than the book. They do what's called a smart analysis of the concept. So they tie it into other books, into stats and articles that are either going to corroborate or conflict with the information. Now, I personally love this because most information out there isn't well-rounded. They don't show you all sides. But Shortform really tries to show you every side so that you can decide for yourself what makes the most sense. In the chapter-by-chapter summaries, they give you exercises to do so that you can actually implement and retain the information that you just consumed. They also have community conversations that you can take part in. You can take notes, highlight passages that you want to reference later, and even download PDFs. And a lot of their books come with an audio option too, so you can listen while you're exercising, while you're driving, if you're doing the dishes, which is about some of the only time we have to learn. Comment below with time if you would love to read more, if only you had more time. So let's talk about the pros and cons of Shortform. So first of all, I love that Shortform helps me to stay up to date with clients, customers, friends, colleagues, and what they're reading or recommending without having to spend hours and hours and hours consuming every single book out there. It also helps you to stay up to date with things like marketing concepts, sales strategies, that sort of thing, without needing to read repetitious stories. We've all read those books that could have been a great blog post, but somehow got turned into a 15-book chapter, right? Shortform can also help you determine which full books would be worth your time, so that you're not buying them until you know that you need more. It's also a great way to review books you've read in the past, and you can consume the books in 20 minutes or less if that's all you have time for, or just need to brush up on the content. Or if you have 60 to 90 minutes, you can go more in depth with the chapter-to-chapter version. For instance, if you have a lazy Saturday morning laying in bed doing absolutely nothing, which is usually how I spend my Sunday mornings. And you have unlimited books to choose from. No limits on how many you can consume if you have the time. All for less than the cost of one book per month, especially if you use my discount link, shortform.com/Tara, to get 20% off the annual membership. But there are some drawbacks to Shortform, as with anything. Number one, you're gonna go through a Shortform honeymoon where you're gonna speed through tons of amazing books that you've been wanting to read but had no time to do it, but you're not gonna retain them because you're going too fast. I want you to think about it. Do you remember all of the details of the most recent blog post you just read? High density of content can equal low retention if you're not careful. You'll have tons of takeaways, but you won't necessarily recall them or where they came from a week later. So pace yourself. You can go hog wild, but be sure to at least highlight or star your favorite short forms to come back and reread later. Make sure you're actually doing the exercises. Really allow yourself to chew on it, right? Really let it sink in. I actually recommend that you only consume 1 to 2 short forms a week, because if you're like like me, you've got a lot happening already. Information overload isn't going to help you create a better life and business. So just chillax. Learn to take your time with it. Another drawback is that a book summary, while it has all the meat, doesn't have the nuance of the book. There might be stories in the book that really help it to click, or as much as repetitive books are kind of a pain in the butt, repetition does help us learn, which again is why it's so important to slow down, to highlight, to do the exercises, reread the short forms, really take your time with the content, and sometimes, yes, get the book to go further. It's not a complete replacement. It's just a great complement when you don't have the time. Another con of short form is kind of more technical. The layout of the app is sort of confusing. It looks like you're starring the book below based on the lines, but the star relates to the book above. So just be careful, or you might star a book like Sex at Dawn about non-monogamy and really freak your spouse out. Like I said, the cost of short form is less than the cost of one book per month, but you get unlimited books for that. And if you use my affiliate link shortform.com/Tara, you can get a free 5-day trial to test it out for yourself, plus 20% off the annual membership, which brings it down to almost half the regular price. Comment below and let me know the name of one book you would love to read but haven't had the time, or that you would recommend that I check out. I especially need more books to read. And if you'd like to know some of my top book recommendations to start with, check out these next videos wherever they're landing on the screen. And if you'd like to learn more strategies and tools to run a successful business, working less than 25 hours per week so you're not burning out, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.